Good night, folks. We are Wednesday, 1st of July. So, we're going to go straight to the point. Today, I think I really find a great opportunity, and I will give the argument to sustain this statement. The stock is Vvos, Vivos Therapeutics. Short term, nobody knows what a stock is going to do, because there is so many factors, profit taking, short manipulating, this and that. Okay, so I want you, as you see the picture in this video, to stay focused on the when you zoom out on the long, the direction for the weeks and months to come. So Vvos is accumulating great news, FDA approval, they have cash on hand, don't need to dilute. And what I really like, because it's very rare, there is only 4.5 million shares running around. 4.5. And the total float with the shares that the insiders are controlling is around 5.5 million. So it's a very, very tiny float. Considering the sales target of this company was targeting roughly 30 million this year and 100 million next year, they are specialized in product to treat snoring and respiratory problem during the night for kids and adults. And they have, I think, like 2 products who are already FDA approved. They have published a study trial in Europe that was very good, with good result. So basically everything is going in the right direction. Now, what happened? The stock was in a kind of channel, as you can see, until mid-March. Mid-March, there was some kind of short attack that basically pushed the price down on very, very low volume. If you check the daily volume on the stock, it was very familiar to have days with 50,000 in volume, 100,000, 200,000. And today we get back in this channel, at the low end of the channel, with 28 million in volume. That means that the whole float who is running around the market, basically seven times the number of shares who are in the market have been turning around. So to give you a comparison, so you can basically understand, it's like if I tell you that back in time, MVST, when MVST got its 1.2 billion in volume, that was basically like 4 times the float. If we can compare, it's like MVST going up on plus 2 billion shares in volume. So the movement and the volume is huge. 7 times the float running around. That means we have a clear, as you can see in green, we have a downtrend. We have been running around since mid-January until lately, so 6 months of downtrend, who has been crushed today on a spike of 28 million in volume. So short term, I cannot tell you what's going to happen. You may have some kind of consolidation around $4 or 3.5. Who knows? The RSI is pretty high. But the problem is that the price was down there artificially on very low volume. So all this volume that have been basically coming out of the stock when we crossed the channel on the downside from the end of March until today, was completely deleted today, because I've not done my math, but I'm pretty sure that if you calculate the total volume in April, May, and June, you may reach 3, 4, 5 million shares, and today was 28 million, and in pre-market we were very, very high, and then the whole day they basically push down, and then you have little runs and then push, basically trying to avoid a stock who's going to be halted several times. Because if you look at the picture, the top of the channel, as you can see, is around $12.5. With this amount of share in the market, that's basically mean if we go to $12.5, a market cap of $60 million is super cheap, It's very, very cheap. So actually, we have a market cap of ridiculous, 20 million. It's very, very low. It's very difficult to find share in the market, especially today with this kind of volume. You have a lot of people who have been buying all the way down from 5 to 3.6, and these people now, they are going to keep their shares. So I think in the days to come, it will be very, very difficult to find shares, because you have a lot new owners. It's not like you have low volume running around. You have 7 times the float who have been traded. Plus the fact that good news are accumulate, basically one after another, and people do their math, and people understand that anything normally anything under 100 million market cap mean $40 per share. Anything under that is a gift. So we are far away of being delisted. It's not a penny stock, because there is so few shares in the market. If the float was 50 million, the price will be between 30 and 40 cents. But the fact we have only 5 million, that's why the price is around $4. So you always need to remember that a stock with low float and is not under $1, so it's not under threat to be delisted, it's very difficult if you have strong hands to find shares. So nobody knows what's going to happen short term. From my technical analysis I've been doing, I cannot show you everything here, it's just a basic chart. In my humble opinion, this stock will be at 5.5 mid-July and above $6 in the first day of August. But that's if we are talking about a regular stock. The problem we have here is that it will be very, very volatile, because especially if you have been following the trading today, you have seen that they can move the stock very quickly. I remember I see the stock at 3.7. I've been making a coffee. I turn back to my screen. I see 410. So that's mean you can have 10% on a dime. It's very, very volatile, because there is very few shares. Today, naturally, they have been shorting all they can on 28 million in volume. I suspect you have like 15, 16 or 17 million of shorts. So it's going to be a big mess the day to come. Big mess, because the float was already super teeny. Now you have people owning the shares that they have been buying from high 4 until 3.6. So it's very simple to understand that if you see the price drifting down, that's not retail selling. Retail have been buying all the way up, and the one who have been buying at a lower price have been selling during the run. A new trader have been buying them in the run. So now the chart is upside down. Because the whole picture have been changing. This kind of volume, it's totally new for this company. It's an enormous volume because the news was huge. FDA approval. So you need to stay focused if you want to trade the stock on the big picture. The big picture is $12.05. That's fundamentally, technically. But if you see the numbers, it's very cheap, because that means $60 million market cap at $12. So I don't know. We are dealing with something was very, very explosive, and we are at the very low of the channel. Remember that we drift down in the last days of March because the volume was so tiny, so they can drop it. They have dropped it on days, you can check, of 100,000 shares, 200,000, 50,000, and now you have 28 million on the upside. So the whole story is upside down. Now we are in an uptrend. We broke several resistance. You have naturally the 20 EMA who have been crossing several lines. Naturally, technically, because the stock was so low, in the low 2, the RSI is pretty hot. But I remember that this kind of low float stock, when they are in an uptrend, RSI don't matter. It will stay to 70 to 80 to 90% for days. So here, what we need to check in the days to come, tomorrow is Wednesday, we need to check if the short will cover all they have been shorting today, because remember that they are shorting from the opening. So they have been shorting all the way down since from $5 until 3.6. So for them, if they cover at 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, they don't lose money. This volume will pop up on a lot of scanner. People will see the volume. So you don't know what's going to happen. If for some reason you have some kind of meme group or institutional whatever starting to buying, this can be totally out of control. There is no shares. There is no shares in the market, especially after this kind of days of today. 28 million in volume for a stock who have 4.5 million in the market. So this can go very quickly out of control. So what can you do? What you can do is that you buy whatever, 3.5, 4, 4.5, because that's peanuts in comparison with the targets. And it's difficult, I've been looking at level 2, bid in the ask was going all around, upside down. The bid was far away from the ask. So if you sell, you need to sell low. If you buy, you need to buy high. It's a very difficult stock to trade. It's a good stock to accumulate. And I really think that if I tell you that end of the year, this stock is above $12, you will be more than happy to accumulate, because this have the profile to really do, something exceptional. ALLR that I've been covering in the last video have a low float, not so low, but a low float. Great story, but the problem, they have a buyback program until February 2026, and they are not in a hurry. If they want to accumulate for $5 million of stock, they can basically play around the stock around $1. When they are above, they sell. When they are under, they buy. And they can do that game for the next 6 months. In the case of Vvos, this is a very low float. A lot of good news, and the sales are already running. And they have reimbursement from Medicare. They have been approved. A lot of things are going in the right direction. And the sales, let's say they expect 30 million this year, don't really matter because the prices are low. That means if they do 25 million, it's good. If they do 35 million, it's good. So whatever. The fact is they are doing money and they expect at the end of the year to be cash flow positive. With this kind of market cap, with this kind of float, this is a unique situation. But you never know short term what's going to happen. But look at the chart long term, and the top of the channel bring you to $12. And even at $12, it will be super cheap. Super cheap. $60 million market cap. That's ridiculous. For a company already doing sales and expecting for 2026 100 million in sales. So this can be a huge ride. And like I always tell you, don't think the market is not disconnect sometime with reality. Even with big market cap stock. I remember seeing a stock name OUST. We were turning around $5, and it's a pretty huge company. It's not a small cap. Turning around $5 a few weeks ago, not a long time ago, a few weeks ago. Then they decide to buy because they see that they are going in the right direction, and we touch $23, $24, a big market cap, 1.5 billion. ESTS and a lot of others. Sometimes the market needs to adjust itself, and when they do that, they don't care about RSI, this and that. They just go in the direction they need to go, and if it's overheated, they just slow down, and the price goes sideways sometime and then go back up. In this case, what I see is that pretty quickly we're going to see a price from $5 to $6 during the summer. And from there, very, very, very quickly in the direction of $12, waiting for the earnings end of the year. And then next year is another story, because if we are talking about 100 million in sales, in that case, who knows? Who knows? It's out of the chart. We absolutely don't know. But here you have a stock with debt-free, no need to dilute, low float, doing sales, FDA approval, back in its channel. The only thing the stock need now, because they come from so low, is maybe a few days to regroup itself and just take a direction. But the direction is clear, crystal clear. When you have 28 million in volume with this kind of company, you know what's going on. It's not a mystery. But short term, you can have manipulation. Let's hope, my only fear, but never know, that the company may be tempted, to sell 2-3 million shares to rise. What will be that $10 million? But they don't need it, so.